Tonight I'm working on a quick tutorial to show you the 4 different types of shirt that I make. The first one is the standard sublimation, which is printed on sublimation paper using the Epson 7710 and sublimation paper. The second one is the heat transfer that I did purchase. The heat transfer is made from a white toner printer, and it's a very quick and simple process. The next one is one that you're all familiar with probably. It is the vinyl. So I cut the vinyl out with using my Cricut, and then I'll just press it with the heat press. The last is Subliflex. A lot of people aren't familiar with the Subliflex. I mentioned this one earlier. It's sort of like I would say the heat press. The heat transfer and the sublimation mixed together, because it does allow for you to print on the Subliflex paper, but then you can also press it on a dark transfer. So these are the 4 that we're going to go ahead and work on today. So the first shirt that I am going to press is going to just be the regular heat vinyl. So I went ahead and cut it with my Cricut, and I used 2 different colors. So I'm going to go ahead and press it at 350 for about 15 seconds, because I have another one that I want to press on top and I don't want to overdo it. So I did the first part of the shirt. And I'm going to go ahead and do the second. I usually use Teflon sheets, but I'm rearranging, so I'm not sure where my Teflon sheets are. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this paper. And then I'm going to press for the whole 30 seconds. Okay, so I went ahead and pressed that. This part is a cool, so I'm just going to wait until it cools off. I don't want to mess that part up. Okay, so my second shirt is going to be 100% cotton, and I'm going to sub using a heat transfer. I turned my heat down to about 320 because I don't think this needs as much heat. And this is also a cool press. Remember, I said this one is done using a white toner printer. Okay, so I have that position how I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this down for 30 seconds. Okay, so the heat transfer is also a cool press, so that means that you would have to pull it up off the shirt after it has cooled down. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off the machine, and then I'll come back and show you guys what the cool press looks like afterwards. So now we're getting down to the fun part. Now I am going to use the Subliflex. All of the material that I'm using tonight, I will post down in the description box. So take a look there if you want to know where I got everything from. This is a hoodie, so this is a sweatshirt. And the way that the Subliflex works is you can print on the Subliflex using your sublimation printer. And then what it does is it'll go ahead and print on dark colors just like a sublimation or heat transfer. All right, so let's get started. I am printing a Baby Yoda for my son's birthday. So they say to print it mirrored, and then you turn it over and place it. Now, I did watch a YouTube channel to make sure that I am doing this right, and it said that you had to put 10 sheets of copy paper on it. So here goes. And then we're going to close it down for 20 seconds. And it says to remove. And then press again for the full 30 seconds. Okay. So this one also, I will have to let it cool down. But as you can see, it turned from white to the color of the Yoshi. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off the machine, and then I'll come back and show you what that one looks like as well. Okay, so with the Yoshi, I had to go back and put this on and press it for a full 30 seconds. It's upside down because of the way I have my heat press, but as you can see, the colors are nice and vibrant. This is a 100% cotton shirt hoodie, a gilded heavy blend, 100%. So it's not polyester. I have to let this cool before I can take this off. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. Okay. So this is my final, which is the sublimation shirt. And I've already printed and cut the sublimation paper. Going to place it where I want it to be. Apply a sheet of paper. And then I'm going to press it at 385 for 60 seconds. Okay, so that was pressed at 365. No cooling time. Just remove your butcher paper and your sublimation paper, and voila, you have an image. And then I'll lay all these out so you guys can see them. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so here's the final process or the final results on each shirt. This one is the heat transfer. It was printed with a white toner printer, pressed on the heat press for 365 degrees at 30 seconds. This one is my heat transfer, and with this one you would use your Cricut design space or your silhouette, whichever you have, to design the template, and then you cut it out with either your Cricut or whatever cutting machine that you have. And then I pressed this one also at 360 degrees for 30 seconds. When I pulled off the film paper, I did another press for another 20 seconds. Most people start out with this process. It's a little longer than using a white toner printer. So I think this one is the longest process of all the shirts that I've worked on today. But the colors are always going to be vibrant because you're using heat transfer. It's just time consuming. The third shirt is a 100% polyester shirt, and this was done using sublimation. The good thing about this one is one of the quickest, because all you have to do is either get you a design or create your design and then just print it using your sublimation printer. Once you print it, make sure that you have a sheet in the middle, which that's what I do. I don't know if anybody's tried to use it without the sheet in the middle. Then I place the sheet in the middle, and then I lay the sublimation paper on top with butcher paper. Like I said before, some sublimation paper you do not have to use the butcher paper, but I have so many, I'm not sure which one I was using today. As you can see, the colors came out really, really nice on this. The only downside I would say with the sublimation printing is you have to have at least 65%. More than 65% is better, but of course it has to be 65% or more polyester. Anything less than that, the colors are not going to be as vibrant. The other downside is that it has to be a light garment. So you cannot sublimate on a dark garment with just straight sublimation paper. So that's the only downside about that. Okay, so my final process is something that may be new to some people, and this is the Subliflex 202. The Subliflex I was able to purchase on Amazon. All you have to do with the Subliflex, you need either an inkjet printer or you can use a sublimation printer. So that's a positive. You print it directly onto the Subliflex. This one is a little time consuming because you do have to press it with 10 sheets of white paper to get it hot. And once you press it with 10 sheets, you got to go back, press it again for 30 seconds. Then if you want it to have a glossy look or a matted look, then you press it one more time depending on what kind of look you want. But as you can see, this is Subliflex. I printed this directly from my sublimation printer. Cut it out with my Cricut. Pressed it on with my heat press. This is 100% cotton, as you can see. And it has color, just like I would do with a polyester. Now, I didn't press it long because this is for my son, so he gets this tomorrow for his birthday. So it has a little glossy look, but they say if you want a matted look, then just press it at a lower time and temperature using the butcher paper. But I think it came out really well. It's something that you can do if you have someone who wants pictures on a shirt or you're getting a lot of orders. The only downside about this, besides having used a little bit of time because you have to press it at least 3 times from what I could see on the video, is that this is not cheap. So I got about, I would say 8 sheets, and it was probably about $20. So this is not cheap at all. But I'll put the Amazon link at the bottom because the price may have changed. I've had this for over a year. I don't use this often because of the price. So mostly I'm using it for bags and something like this for my son, that he really wanted this shirt and I want it to last. If you have any questions, please send me a message. If you want to see one of these done in detail or all of these done one by one in detail, just leave me a message and I'll try to get that done as soon as possible. But thank you for coming to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.